I'm Charlotte McLeod with investingnews.com, and here today with me is Yvonne Blaszczyk, President and CEO of BMG Group. Thank you so much for being here. Great to have you.
Thank you. It is my pleasure.
Really good to be speaking with you once again. Of course, there's so much going on in precious metals, but where I want to start is with gold. The price has been on just an amazing run over the last weeks and months. I think today on the futures, we even saw about 4,000 per ounce. Everybody is looking at what's going on and wondering what is driving gold, how much further can it go? So let's jump into that and get your perspective on what's happening in the gold market at this time.
It is extremely interesting. I call it the power grid on fire, which is the gold. Gold, power, money, this is all happening before our eyes. It's really amazing. And yes, the gold settled actually at $3,980. I don't know if you remember earlier this year I was predicting there's going to be 4,000 by the end of the month, at the end of the year. And then I was predicting there's going to be 3,000 a year ago. So my predictions are not really a prediction. This is really analysis of all the geopolitical events that they are shaping the world and financial world, and particularly gold. The current price of gold is really something that I expected. And I expected because what is happening with China in particular. China is a major, I think, tone setter for the price of gold now. Maybe not that visible to everyone, but it is. China has the record production of gold in the world. They are, I think, in a position to actually back their yuan with gold at the moment. They produce, I think, 380 tons of gold in 2024, and that was disclosed, so you don't know. And the interesting part is that the unprecedented dominance of China, it's in producing gold, is also has to be understood in a different context. They actually acquiring gold from other countries. They're actually building not only huge reserves, but they are redefining the international trade and monetary architecture, or the entire structure. So here in the world, we're looking at all the flashpoints all over the place, and perhaps we're noticing what is happening in China, with China, and how dangerous China is to our current financial system as we know it, on many levels. And not only in terms of production of gold, but also in terms of what is happening to the SWIFT system and the trading routes and the alliances. I spoke many times, we spoke about BRICS countries. China is in a central position with BRICS countries. Many of those countries have already either experimented or they have their own currency backed with gold. Many of those countries are under sanctions, therefore, and they're underdeveloped, or they have lots of resources, but they are looking into each other for trade. They are looking on each other for alliances, not only economic, but also, I think, political and military as well. So that's another kind of danger. So China's recent mandate on allowing or experiment or project their insurance companies to hold 1% of their of gold it's significant, because that will push the prices of gold up. Any kind of a building reserve by China, the response is that other countries are doing the same, and that's not only with gold but with silver as well. And one precious metal that has not been really focused on is platinum, which plays a central role in a military systems and also industrial applications and chemical and the jet fuel production of explosives, which are necessary in a lot of the flashpoints around the world. So, but gold, I would like to focus for a minute just on gold. Gold, as you said, is amazing. I mean, I always felt it was money for 5,000 years. Nothing has changed. Sanctions did not touch gold. on the contrary, actually propel the price of gold to go up. Gold is a incredible store value. Gold has an incredible appeal as well, but it took a backstage because of a lot of things that happened. There was a focus on a different kind of market. Once US departed from the gold standard, the winds of change kind of put the gold on the secondary on the parking lot. But now the gold is out, and the gold is defining a power in the world. Purchases of oil, transactions that all are backed by gold, can be done in gold, are being done in gold. Therefore, gold is very much sought after. The refined gold above ground is only limited amount of gold. Therefore, we can look at a humongous surge of prices and gold, but also there be an issue with a supply and demand. There'll be a huge imbalance. Therefore, gold is going to become a store of wealth and an incredible, I think, potential in building one's own wealth, securing one's investments. Many times, I discuss it with people, their investments or they think of gold. People still don't have the understanding of the importance of gold in our everyday life for everyone. But when we look at the global system, a geopolitical system, what is happening? BRICS countries are a huge opposition and a rival to our Western system in the sense of economics and financial systems. They already dominated over 40, almost 50%, half of the world in population. Most of their countries, they have either oil or they control the oil routes. There is a whole market with a shadow fleet of tankers registered under some dubious names that is delivering oil from the countries under sanctions. So there's another almost a secondary market is being created. And the idea is that you have to be part of it in order to secure your future as a country and also as an individual. BRICS creates a need for or pushes the new monetary order in the world. I believe that this is just a beginning. There has to be at some point a greater appreciation how we're going to transition and safeguard our current systems with gold in particularly. So with China, China's insurance mandate is a significant shift in the global gold markets. While full impact still is not felt, not to this at the moment, but it also will influence not only the prices, but also supply chains and also broader geopolitical landscape of financial markets. China's strategy is not only domestic production, but they definitely systematically accumulate gold from other countries, particularly the BRICS countries. There are vast gold deposits in Russia. As you know, China has a pretty free run in Siberia, not only for wood. I was looking at some pictures, all the forest devastated, it looks like a farmer's field, but gold and other critical minerals. So from our perspective, we have to also look at what is important for a national security. And then we can put to silver and platinum, which are the other also precious metals that have a store value, but also they have a even more important application in a military and industrial. But gold is definitely a backbone and a main pillar of the financial systems. So that's what is happening. The current prices of gold is just the beginning. I think the world is on fire. The power grid is with flashpoints everywhere. We look at some small elements and we don't see the big picture many times. There's a turmoil in US, as you know. Political divisiveness still exists to a great degree. In France, they have another prime minister resigned. This is unprecedented with this huge debt. One of the, I think a very interesting movements is the fact that US at least is making money by Europe paying for the military equipment from US to sponsor another war. But that's a drop in the bucket. There has to be a overhaul of the entire system. See how fast can you trade? Whom can you trade with? What are the critical metals? And so you have the financial system, the money, which is gold, and then you have the other precious metals. There is really a national security, industry, military. For example, not that long ago, President Trump announced sanctions against countries that do business or they have some kind of relationship with BRICS countries. Well, that's the direct move against South Africa, who is the major producer of platinum. The second one is Russia. Although Canada and US have some of platinum, but it's not enough to meet the demand. So, and that's critical especially if you have any kind of military confrontations with anyone, or we participate, or we put our resources into that. So I think the devaluation of some fiat currencies is imminent. I also feel that I love Europe. I was just in Paris. But Europe, as much as it's beautiful, doesn't have the resources, natural resources. European countries are in debt, particularly France. European countries are struggling with the central government, not only because financially, but also because of the regulations that don't necessarily resonate with the individuality of the European countries. So, and then we have a euro, major currency that there was so much fear. What will happen to euro is a question. Is it going to be really a reserve currency? US dollar will stay. I don't think it will disappear, but it will have a very stiff competition. And I think the gold-backed currency is going to be the one that is going to be a major, challenge for US dollar as a reserve currency and in terms of international trading. I also believe that that reserve currency has to be as a dollar. They have to really rethink: is it really good to go back to gold standard? Does it really make sense? Do we have enough gold, first of all, in a reserve to do that? But if we do, whom can we align ourselves with to have that supply? Unfortunately, a lot of the rogue countries have incredible amount of gold. And should the gold price go up, that will reverse the power structure in the world. That's why I said that the power grid is on fire, because you really don't know what will happen. Because some of the smaller players may have be in a better position than some established countries in our part of the world. So that's really critical. The other thing is, I think with silver is doing very well, and silver is going to soar because of the industrial applications, mainly. China is also has an incredible silver strategy, but only, I think, some percentage, I don't remember, 30% of the silver is actually mined from the mines in the world. So it's the rest of it is a byproduct of gold and other mining. So that means, again, story for gold, not only the above ground gold, but the gold that is being actually mined. And where are the deposits that we can, draw upon? That's the thing. But many of the countries don't rely on their own mining industry for it. They usually get it from other countries. And this is a challenge, because that's when you have alliances. That's when you try to have an alliance with countries that have a lot of resources, and perhaps they need something from us. Puts Canada in a very interesting position, because we have everything. We have a vast territory, and we are not really a antagonistic player in the world. But we have the water, we have the forest, we have the natural resources, we have a lot of the critical minerals. And that's going to be very interesting how that's going to play out, because there'll be other countries who will have appetite perhaps to have some kind of a joint venture or do something. So there'll be a lot of turmoil coming up. They will push the gold prices probably to $5,000 and more. Right now, it's difficult to appreciate all those things. I'm waiting for the next major policy move from BRICS countries. What will happen? There is what will also happen, because all those wars in the world, the Middle East, Ukraine, those flashpoints are drawing on a lot of political resources and so forth. But the financial system tracks itself. It has its own path. And that path, the upward movement, is changing from the fiat currency, from the paper into gold, which is a physical, but it's also a huge opportunity for the digital component. Although it requires tremendous amount of energy, accessibility from other countries, the less developed, is problematic. So those things still will support the fact that the physical gold is going to be number one for in our lifetime, a pillar of the financial systems. So now there is an opportunity, and I think even what people should do, should I have gold? Should I have silver? Should I have platinum? Well, if you have not immediate, platinum is going to soar for sure. If the wars continue and conflicts, and jet fuel, that's the most important. As long as we have those needs, that'd be a major driver for platinum. Notwithstanding, I think the pharmaceutical industry and others that also require platinum. But gold itself is because of its also rare, not only rare, but also a very unique and very in high demand properties. Is going to be a number one for many, many reasons on many levels. I do believe that one really needs to have gold, not just exposure to gold, but gold in their portfolios, in their financial basket of goods, that to protect themselves. Silver, they call it poor man's gold, because there is incredibly low price. Today was at $47 US. It's very good price. And any kind of upswing in price, if you have a volume of silver, is going to be very, very, profitable. Gold, it has its own path. I believe that, one requires really both gold and silver. The ratio will depend, on the individual financial system or financial needs. From the kind of a national perspective, governments need to have a gold reserve and silver reserve significant. And if there are major military forces in the world, they need platinum in order to secure their themselves and their alliances with other countries. They may not have it. So that's very important. I think we have to rethink how we handle those things, and and how we're going to protect our system, protect our well-being, protect our own wealth. And our wealth is not wealth, because the word wealth, I think, is misleading. Wealth is for someone, it could be, the little condominium apartment, one bedroom, and a little car. That's their wealth. They don't want to lose it. Because people that have, several houses in Saint-Tropez or something, they can afford losing them. That's not a problem. So our wealth, how does one average person that doesn't have the money really to go and buy gold, right now in Canada is over $5,000, one coin. So what do they do? But you still can. You can at least have some investments in gold, some investments in silver, and you can, proportionally to your own, economic, level or need. But I think that's a necessity. Now, in terms of what will happen to the industry, how this will influence everything, I think we are going to see some major changes in the next couple of years, because before we used to look at the gold from the domestic perspective. We used to say, interest rates, election, this party, that party. It doesn't matter anymore. You have to look at the entire world. And just because, the whole population goes and protests against this war or that war, makes no difference. The gold and the financial systems are tracking on a steady path. And that path is right now at this moment dominated by China. Secondary there's a huge challenge because of the BRICS countries. And they are getting tighter and tighter. And we are not in the Western world, in our system that we know right now. We don't have a provisions for some alternative should our system be in some critical danger. We don't have that, and that's what is a major challenge. As this war, this year is coming to a closure, 2025. I think 2026 is going to be a very critical and very challenging. There'll be a lot of news, I think, on the financial systems, on how the countries are going to align themselves with each other. And I think the battlefront is on the financial systems. Follow the money. It's not anywhere else.
Well, as always, such a masterclass in what is going on in global geopolitics. And I think it makes total sense to start looking at this more internationally versus at the country level, like you're saying. And just one follow-up that I have for you. In your conversations that you're having maybe with everyday people, are you seeing people in the West starting now to wake up to this massive shift that's happening? Are people realizing this at this point?
Many people do realize. I noticed that people in a sort of the people that are involved in business, or people that they are involved in a more or have a cosmopolitan kind of life. They travel. They do see that. In the financial systems, I see the old routines. People cannot accept the paradigm shift. They don't really understand what is happening. They're looking still at the local level. They don't look at globally, what is happening globally, how that influence everything. But another thing that the people are saying, well, but gold is so expensive. How could I afford it? Well, I heard the same story when it was $1,000. I heard that story when it was $800. I said, well, it's so high, why would I buy it? I heard it, at $2,800. And it's always the same story. The question is, you have to understand the upward trajectory of gold. It is going up, but at the same time, it will fluctuate. It will go up and down. I was reading the other day, it just popped in me, on internet, on my phone, actually. Somebody was saying, oh, the gold is going down. And I said, my God, this person is really drinking from some well, because, of course it's go down. It's go down and up, but then up and down and vice versa. But what will happen? You have to look at the annual returns, or you have to look on the sort of longer time span to really understand that it is the safest, the best, provides the best returns of anything else that you could invest in, or have for protection as well. Because you can invest in something that will produce some fantastic returns, but it's not sustainable. This metal will never disappear. That will always exist there. Up and down, it will never be zero. So that kind of thinking is very, very different. And the price is scary for people right now. But we see huge increase in people buying, even though price is scary. But when you look at demographics of those that are buying, that's the people in the know. That's the people that kind of look at the world through different perspective, different lens. People buying houses. People have, several houses. They pay property tax. They sell them. They have to pay capital gains tax. What's happening with gold? There's no taxes on it. Well, yes, there is, if you have an income, that's a taxation. But what I'm saying, you don't have to pay property tax every year on it. You don't have to, yes, people may keep it at home and bury in the garden, but many people choose, like many of our clients, the safety of vaults, especially LBMA vaults that we are part of. And they feel very secure. With one phone call, they can sell it if it's in a vault. If it doesn't, leave the chain of custody. So it's a very I think, a smooth and simple system, but not too many people have the understanding how to get into it.
Yeah, that gives me a good idea of what you're seeing there. And I don't want to take up too much of your time, but before I let you go, you mentioned at the start of this conversation, you did give us that $4,000 gold prediction. So of course, we've made it there essentially right now. You're looking for $5,000 gold.
Yes, I'm looking for 5,000.
And then do you have thoughts on silver or platinum if we're going to 5,000 gold? What are you thinking?
Platinum is going to definitely be a huge winner. You see, I hoped for silver for a long time, and it is tremendous, but it still has a long way up. Takes a very long time, though, for silver mines to produce certain level of silver. So there'll be a lot of pressure. So silver may jump. As you know, platinum historically used to be higher than gold in price. So I'm thinking that relationship may be reestablished in the future. Now, in terms of silver, I heard prediction that silver may be more expensive than gold. I'm not too sure about that for a variety of reasons. I think the gold is the really main pillar of financial systems, always was. Silver, yes, numismatic, the coins in silver printed, but silver does not have the same role as gold. So as much as it may catch up at some point, at this point it's very difficult to predict, but the gold I predicted $3,000 gold as well when it was well below in 1 year, but just based on geopolitical factors. I just look globally, what is happening globally, what is happening in the marketplace. I also look at the sentiment towards gold or towards silver. Now the sentiment is very good, except people are thinking that the price is not attainable for every person, but it really is. Because when you think, if you have, something that's worth $1,000 and then, 3 years later, it's 4,000. It's a huge return. But it's very difficult to navigate through that. The fluctuating prices are misunderstood by people. They don't understand that if I, observe gold price every day and go up and down, you're going to have a nervous breakdown because, you'll never know. So you have to look, okay, fine, it went down, it's going to go up because of all those factors that you must track and analyze and understand. Also, there are differences, as you know, in gold price in different countries. That's another factor. And it's very interesting, I think, play for investors to look at it as well, because you can leverage that. And again, that's when the local supply and demand is influenced. But the spot price kind of is a really impacted by geopolitical factors.
Yeah. There's definitely, I think, a mindset shift that needs to happen for some people if they're not in this already, and hopefully we get there at some point for everybody. Well, I think this was really good. It gives me a great idea of where you're at right now in terms of the precious metals. So thank you as always for coming on to go over everything. This was very valuable.
Thank you very much.
Of course. And once again, I'm Charlotte McLeod with investingnews.com, and this is Yvonne Blaszczyk with BMG Group.
Thank you for watching. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We'd also love to hear your thoughts, so leave us a comment below.